the biggest don'ts, right? When running comps, don't use Zillow. Number one, don't use Zillow. I have a friend of mine, Tim Allums. He's a kick-ass realtor in San Antonio. If you know him, you know that I'm telling the truth. And if you don't, you need to get to know the guy. Guy knows a lot and the most ethical person I know. So Tim Allums has a cup that says the A in Zillow stands for accuracy. So if you don't get that, there is no A in Zillow because there is no accuracy. And this is not a knock on Zillow at all. This is just a lot of people use Zillow as comps. They look at the values and all that. Well, Sestimate says this. That means nothing at all. You understand? That could be either dead on, which rarely happens. It could be way off, over, which a lot of the times that happens, or it could be way off, way under. You understand? So it's very inaccurate. Don't use Zillow. Another thing, don't use the appraisal. Okay, a lot of people, even homeowners, they'll call me and they're like, well, my house was appraised at this. Like, did you get it appraised or was it tax appraised? Because a tax appraisal is a ballpark. You understand? Like, they're taking into consideration like what all the houses, they run comps and everything on the neighborhood, and based on the square footage and what most of the houses are selling for, they take that average, they times it by your square footage and say your house is worth this. But they don't know what the inside of your house looks like. You understand? So that could potentially be an ARV. Most of the time it's not. Most of the time these people don't understand what buyers are doing and how things work. And again, this is not a knock on them. This is just what is. Okay, I had somebody that wanted to sell their house, and their appraisal came in. Their tax appraisal was 185 or something. My ARV, right, repaired. The house was updated, was 162, 165. I was like, dude, first of all, we're not gonna reach an agreement because you're way off. And two, I was like, you've been overpaying on taxes by a drastic amount. You need to go fight that because your house is not worth 185. No way in hell, right? So they don't know that. And a lot of investors, I see them do the same thing. They're like, well, it was appraised at this. And I'm like, what do you mean it was appraised? Yeah, the tax appraisal, that means nothing. That means absolutely nothing. You know, things not to do is don't look at anything that's not a sold. So a lot of people, when they run comps, or they've sent me comps because we buy from a lot of wholesalers, send me your deals. They'll send me comps, which is fine. It doesn't help me or hurt me that you send me comps. I could look at them. I usually don't. I like to run my own. But when I glance at them, they send me a lot of actives, right? Or active options or pending. Those don't mean anything when you're running a comp because active means it hasn't closed. And if it hasn't closed, it doesn't matter what it's listed for. They can ask whatever the hell they want for a house. It doesn't mean it's gonna sell at that price. So there's a lot of times houses are listed, you know, for 220, and then they end up selling for 205. And if you're using that 220 as a price to submit an offer, and it closes at 205, that's a $15,000 spread now. And if it was a marginal or a tight deal, that could be negative money for you. So you want to make sure that you're going off of solds. Now, there are times, and I'm going to show you some example, where we do use actives and active options and all that, but that's going to be in part 2. And I'm going to show you why we use those, but not when we're buying. Okay, when we're buying, I want to see solds. All right, I want to see the house closed because that's the data that I need.